Well, this month, the largest meat producer in America was forced to close for several days due to hackers.
And that was only 3 weeks after hackers shut down the main source of gasoline for the East Coast. Both were ransomware attacks. Nick Davis is the Chief Information Security Officer for the UW system. Nick, good to see you.
Welcome back
to Live at 4.
Nice to see you, Susan. Nice to see you, Mark. Thank you for having me. I've actually moved on from roles. Now I'm Director of Information Security.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Shame on us. We might get that promotion in. So what is ransomware, Nick, and how is this happening? How does this work?
So you should think of ransomware as a virus, but not just a regular old virus or malware. What it is a really nasty kind that gets on your computer and doesn't just slow things down or show you ads or commercials you don't want to see. What it does is it encrypts all your precious data, all the time that you spend writing letters and reports and spreadsheets. It encrypts all that data on your computer, and then people contact you asking for money in exchange for the key to decrypt that data.
So who are these people and how do they get into the computer?
So the malware, or the ransomware, I should say, gets on the computer in much the same way as other nefarious types of software do. It can come in the form of a phishing email with a link that you may click on. It may be on a website that already is infected with data that downloads to your computer. It might be embedded with a macro within Microsoft Office. Any of the normal ways that you get malware on your computer can also carry ransomware.
Boy, does this expose very concerning vulnerabilities in some of our main systems?
So it does expose them, but those vulnerabilities have always been there. And I think the concern is now that it's so easy to purchase ransomware services in which you actually hire somebody to go out and infect someone's computer or a company's computer, that it's become much more in the limelight now than it was previously.
What can you do to protect your computer? What can a company do?
So really what they need to do is engage in what we call basic cyber hygiene, which is they need to have antivirus on their machines, have it up to date. They have to educate their community about not clicking on links, the same sort of information, the same sort of training that they would have for any other types of malware. But I think the key here, Mark, is really preparation for this, because sooner or later, most organizations are likely to be hit by ransomware. And so what they need to do to prepare for this is back up their data. And I always suggest that they do what's called an air gap backup, meaning they back it up to a place that can't be connected to the internet or won't be connected to the internet. So if their systems do get infected with ransomware, it can't propagate out and infect their data backups.
Is that something that regular people would know how to do?
So for regular people, they might not have all the expensive equipment that you'd find in a corporate environment, but they can get one of these. And I brought one with me today. We have a USB flash drive that they can pick up at any store for less than $10. And what I recommend is that people, one, back up their data to a couple of these USB flash drives, that they back up their data to the cloud, and that they do that on a regular basis. And that once they back it up to a USB flash drive, unplug it from their computer, because as long as it's connected to their computer, if the computer should be infected by ransomware, it will rapidly propagate and encrypt all the data on that flash drive as well.
This sounds like something that's not going to go away.
No, I think it's only going to get worse in terms of the automation, the ease with which people have shown the ability to infect networks and get after them. I do think that the defenses, though, are becoming a lot better. There's threat intelligence out there that lets us know who the bad actors are. The law enforcement agencies are getting better at tracking them down, and people are becoming a lot more aware of basic cyber hygiene and the importance of doing data backups. So all is not lost.
Rather than just large corporations and critical infrastructure, is this something that could potentially trickle down to our laptops and our phones?
So it already does. It already does. So people individually have been infected by ransomware, and they've paid ransom in terms of Bitcoin, or sometimes even to their credit cards. But I always recommend that people don't pay ransomware, because it's extortion, number one. And number two, once you've paid them one time, what's to keep this person who's already proven themselves to be unlawful and unethical from coming back and asking for it next week and the week after and the week after? You never know if that software has been cleaned off your machine or not. So the best bet is don't pay the ransomware, back up your data in a way in which it's not connected, and then if you should get infected, you just rebuild the computer and copy your data back over.
All right, it's a big problem. It's going to get worse.
Scary times.
Nick, thanks for being with us today.
Nick, great to see you.
It was my pleasure to see you both. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Susan.
All right, we'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.